Film History Project, Charlton Kamal. Decades 1960, 1970, I talk about, movies and films and the gender roles. After I observed and researched these time periods, it allowed me to understand how women were always excluded from main leading roles in martial arts, stunts, or action films. This is important when it comes to understanding and knowing the situations with females in the film industry not having equal rights or being placed on the bottom of the barrel hierarchy compared to men. As years went on, we would observe films that actually gave women leading roles and made them the main characters who were introduced in action-packed stunt and fighting films. It showed how Hollywood, society, and culture has progressed and evolved over the years. As the time developed, then women advocated for stronger roles in the film industry, which was a major paradigm shift. Film critics were allowed to open up and see everything from all sides of the spectrum regarding women in the industry. Through 1960 through 1970, I looked at many films in the 60s with female leading roles, such as Wait Until Dark, Valleys of the Dolls, Come Drink with Me. These were films in which women were skilled martial artists, fighters, and action-packed adventures. During this time of feminism, women were finally getting the action spotlight. However, during this time era, women were still seen as more feminine and not the action adventure fighting type due to gender roles and gender socialization due to the social constructs put into society at the time. People at the time were more interested in special effects, choreography, story posts, story plots, and actions rather than women leading roles and women being seen as sex symbols. Come Drink With Me starred one of the first major female martial artists, Pei Chang, um, during the time of the 1960s. 1980 through 1995, observing this era of the entertainment and film industry, it showed me that women were increasingly being placed into leading roles of film that were smash hit big films such as Wonder Woman, Aliens, The Terminator, Street Fighter. Women were breaking into the film industry as producers, directors, and actresses. Feminism was integrated into the fighting, action, adventure films to show that women had power, skills, and could fight just as good or even better than the men. In the 80s and 90s, women were enrolled in more martial art training and practices than many men when it was preparing for action major roles in the film and parts in the film industry. Around 2000, 2010, observing these situations in this time period in both films such as movies and television, women were dominating the screens and playing major roles in action-packed films such as Angelina Jolie and The Tomb Raider, Priyanka Chopra and Quantico, and the Marvel Agent Shields. More and more women were being casted also in the sexual entertainment industry, but not just seen as sexual objects anymore, but as individuals who are strong, motivated, ambitious, and can lead like the male counterparts in the martial arts, fighting, action, adventure, film industry. This was important because, comics, toys, statues, video games, and music was also being, turned into movies and constructed with female leading roles after the movies come to fruition and become popular, like I was mentioning Tomb Raider. Feminism allowed women to show that they are independent and not typically codependent or submissive or vulnerable types like society tries to portray them in that light. The martial arts, female leading roles, and being engaged in multiple films show that women can be just as strong and dangerous as men. When it comes to popular trends, as women became more recognized in the limelight and was able to get leading roles in many popular films based off of video games, TV shows, or cartoons or comics. This is important because it shows that women can play any type of leading role and be just as entertaining or exciting or interesting as a male counterpart, and not just seen as sexual objects like the average person might view them in society and culture. Allowing more females to be in leading roles will open up the doors for minorities, people with disabilities, or individuals who might have faced some type of alienation, discrimination, or outcast. Some films generated more revenue with women being the leading roles compared to males, such as The Tomb Raider. What we can learn from this is create future opportunities and influence more female-dominated roles. Moving on to the research articles. Article 1, Lowe Jerry, Feminism Making a Mark in the Entertainment Industry. Lowe basically discusses how women have leading roles in movies and TV shows and put it down into step-by-step processes such as understanding women have value in all aspects and varieties across the spectrum. Women are very broad. Do not be fooled by the Hollywood stereotype to where women are just sexual objects or beautiful feminine creatures or constructed into submissive or vulnerable roles. See how the past of films shaped and enhanced the future of films with women leading the roles and playing major parts in the film. In martial arts, fighting, you know, several movies based upon popular video games or series. Um, Hollywood really shifted and reversed the gender roles, showing that when actions the actions that women are capable of are limitless. This made an advantageous impact for women in leading the roles of action films, where we understand women's gender roles and man roles in TV shows and film. Could there be always skepticism or scrutiny to whether a female is equipped or cut out for the specific role or the major role in the first place? He studied and analyzed films from the past up until now to make this summary and research to form his conclusion. Elrod Brandon, Brandon Elrod, action films and females as the leading stars. Now, there are all kinds of gender roles, social construction, culture that surrounds feminism, and the females play some roles in the current areas. However, as though it might seem a bit political and erratic, the leading roles of females allows the society to expand their minds and become more tolerant to different ideas and perceptions revolving around the entertainment industry. The 90s were where women became more and more integrated into leading roles in the entertainment industry, and this was the starting point to open up the doors and allow females to have more power and influence in the modern pop culture and both on a national, local, and global scale. Constructs and demonstrations, several hypotheticals. Brendan Elrod demonstrates and constructs several hypotheticals and examples displaying how female leading roles have both genuine and sex appeal among the audience. Let's move on now to Brittany Rose, Unlocking the Secrets of Women in the Film Industry. Brittany mainly talks about the, the fact that females are capable of taking on multiple roles in the industry as well as in real life. And this is important because we get to see the acting, the candid and honest aspects of how important female roles are in our society, culture, and entertainment industry. Primary circumstances was females' roles in fighting violence, action, adventure, and martial arts styles to see how they defended and protected themselves and how they differentiated from the male counterparts in these type of stereotypical masculine roles. Majority of the fighting films always have women as a sidekick or not leading the role, or the lover who gets rescued, not the hero. And we wanted to understand the psychology Brittany did and the gender roles of this particular instance. As films with female roles are enhancing and increasing, there still seems to be gender bias and sexism in many popular action films, even till today, that many women are still not capable or as organized or prepared to take on these masculine dominated traits and roles. The conclusion we can say is that women will always have diverse and vast roles in film and the entertainment industry, just like men, and depending on the context, settings, the action, and roles of the film, specifically, many times will dictate a woman's trajectory. It seems like modern film industry, Hollywood is switching up the gender roles and putting females into the leading characters of violent, dangerous, and fighting movies to establish more equality, fairness, inclusivity, inclusivity, and to show that women are more than just a pretty face and a nice, sexy body. Research and investigation will continue to recommend, as the industry is rapidly changing every day and newer different things and ideas are coming out, this can allow the audience to be more interested and educated on the subject matter. The 2020 film Mulan confirms and shows how a female leads an army in China to fight wars until the death. In this violent action adventure film, this shows how they switch up the gender roles and it's not a male leading the army or the school or the herd. But it shows you how Hollywood and the entertainment industry is progressing. That's the most important aspect.